Hello there. This is Weekend File on the NTA. We are live in Abuja. Harmattan is a cold, dry and dusty wind that blows over West Africa. The wind blows from the Sahara Desert into the Gulf of Guinea between the end of November and the middle of March. The Harmattan, like every other season, has very far-reaching medical implications as it consists of fine dust particles between 0.5 and 10 micrometers. The season is here again with its peculiar weather, which brings in its trail some ailments, mainly respiratory and visual. The traditional Harmattan season leads to poor visibility for drivers and pilots, while children and adults alike could also suffer from cold, cough and catarrh, among others. In addition, the dry, dusty wind, experts say, is capable of causing a variety of domestic inconveniences because of the dust which envelopes the atmosphere. Although the Harmattan is only in some parts of the country, reports have it that many people in the states where it is being experienced are coming down with some of the ailments associated with the weather. Nigerians are used to Harmattan. For now, precautionary measures and treatments of ailments are what experts advise. Tonight on Weekend File, we take a look at the effects of Harmattan on people's health. We have situation reports from across the country, and our guest is Dr. Godwin Ntadum, Chief Epidemiologist of the Federation. I am Kenen Ima Aborike. Welcome and stand by for the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed the conviction that the Africa-Turkey partnership will be a game-changer in setting the countries involved on the path to sustainable development for Africans and the talks. He attributed this optimism to what he called the genuine openness, trust and commitment manifested in their cooperation mechanism. This was at the 3rd Africa-Turkey Partnership Summit in Istanbul, the Republic of Turkey. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit, organized by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, had in attendance 16 heads of state and government, as well as over 100 ministers in charge of key sectors of their country's economies. Themed Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity, the summit was aimed at carrying forward the strategic ties between Turkey and the continent of Africa to a new stage. Addressing participants, President Muhammadu Buhari said given the increasingly unpredictable nature of contemporary global challenges facing mankind, well-being of humanity must remain at the center of their agenda for the common good and prosperity of all.
We must therefore promote science, technology and innovation and share knowledge from research and development to better equip us to address present and future challenges in a more equitable and sustainable manner. The Turkey-Africa Strategic Partnership has become an integral part of our foreign policies, and the notable milestone recorded since the inception of this partnership attests to this. Not only has there been mutual support to respond to the pandemic, but also mutual support to build resilience and sustainable development in other sectors.
President Buhari was also delighted that due consideration was given to the issue of terrorism, saying in the Lake Chad Basin, for instance, Boko Haram, though fragmented and degraded, is still active and preying on soft targets.
We call upon our partnership to provide concrete support to help defeat terrorism and insurgency on the African continent. Another area this partnership must focus on is the global challenge of climate change, which is impacting us in Nigeria, Turkey, across Africa, and indeed across the world. It has become a catalyst for conflict through food insecurity, drying up of lakes, loss of livelihood and youth migration, among others. I want to seize this opportunity to appeal for support for initiatives such as Africa's Great Green Wall on environment and land management. The initiative aims to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land in the 11 countries of the Sahara Strip. capture 215 million tons of carbon and create 10 million living by 2030.
Describing trade as an engine for development, sustained economic growth and poverty eradication, the president made a case for a significant increase in Africa-Turkey trade figures, leading to what he called a win-win for all countries, leveraging on African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Meanwhile, a 5-year action plan as well as joint implementation report have been adopted towards enhancing the Turkey-Africa relations in critical economic sectors, including the concrete projects to be carried out before the next summit in 2026 for the benefit of the continent. From Istanbul, Turkey, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari was today represented by Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum at Niger Republic's 63rd Independence Day celebrations. The presidential celebration event took place in Difa town of Difa province, with President of Niger Republic Mohamed Bazoum leading the national celebrations. Mohamed Goni reports.
Niger Republic commemorates its National Day on the 18th of December every year, with ceremonies attended by world leaders and their representatives. Every year, the celebration is hosted on rotational basis at regional capitals across the country, with this year's hosted in Difa. Governor Zulum joined dignitaries that includes the Prime Minister of Chad, Alpad Pahimi, the Speaker of Niger Republic's National Assembly, Saidu Umar, Nigerian Minister of Defense, Al-Qasim Indotu, and Governor of Difa Province, Issa Lamin. This year's celebration had also conferment of national honors to 20 personalities. Before representing President Buhari at the Nigerian National Day, Governor Zulum was in Damasak, headquarters of Mabar local government area, where he distributed irrigation packs to 2,000 resettled farmers before moving into Difa, which shares border with Damasak in Nigerian side of Lake Chad shores. Governor Zulum was accompanied on the presidential trip by the senator representing Northern Borno, Abubakar Kyari, Borno Assembly Speaker Abdul Karim Lawan, 2 members and officials of government. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress national leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on his 79th birthday. In a statement, Asiwaju Tinubu, the former Lagos governor, said despite prevailing challenges, the president has continued calmly and with uncommon dignity to steer the ship of Nigeria through the most turbulent waters. APC national leader said through careful leadership and measured governance of the nation, the Buhari administration has achieved many things for which Nigerians can be proud of. He also added that unheralded reforms and measures taken by the administration are also taking effect to bring greater transparency and accountability to governance. While the benefits of these reforms may not yet be well understood or appreciated, Bola Tinubu said the legacy as a great reformer and Democrat will live long in the future. President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as a man whose life has been that of unalloyed service to Nigeria, his country, and to humanity at large. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at a media briefing in Ilorin, Kwara State, as he paid tribute to the president on his 79th birthday. Anthony Forson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister said President Muhammadu Buhari has been almost everything there is to be in the service of the nation and has always given his all each time.
Has been as a soldier, as you know, a governor, a minister, a trust fund chairman, a military head of state, democratically elected president twice. He fought a war to keep Nigeria together, and that explains his passion for the country's unity.
He pointed out that President Muhammadu Buhari is a steady hand in troubled times.
His various positions within and outside the military, his global exposure, his unmatched demeanor, and above all, his wisdom have all helped to stabilize Nigeria at the most difficult of times.
The minister chronicled some major achievements to include Nigeria's modern rail era, setting the country on the path of unprecedented infrastructural development. President Buhari built the second Niger Bridge, which his predecessors built on paper. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria got modern airport terminals. The school feeding program, which has increased school enrollment, is another achievement. In addition, the president institutionalized measures to fight corruption and putting Nigeria on the road to food self-sufficiency, just as he also saved states from collapse. He empowered jobless graduates and saw Nigeria through one of the worst pandemics in human history, with the economy still recording growth.
Like I said recently, his achievements may not seem too obvious now, especially with naysayers, sponsored attackers, and desperate opposition, all relenting in their craft. But posterity will surely be kind to this man, whose life has meant service to his fatherland. A man who goes to bed at night and wakes up in the morning thinking Nigeria. I believe God has a reason for keeping him alive when many had written him off as dead. Happy birthday, Mr. President, and thank you for your service to the nation.
In Ilori, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates the Premium Times Mosikiliu Mojid and Daily Trust's Ahmed Shekarau, who emerged President and Secretary of the Nigeria chapter of the International Press Institute, IPI. The president, in a statement, salutes the diligence and brilliance of both journalists who have distinguished themselves in their chosen career. In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with Abe1 Ovie of Ovie Kingdom of Delta State, Dr. Emmanuel Ekemejawon Sideso, on his 78th birthday. The president, in a statement, notes His Royal Majesty's commitment to peace in Ovie Kingdom, which has translated into many gains for the community, state, and the nation, opening up more space for investors and nurturing young entrepreneurs. Ogun State government has announced the postponement of the official visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to the state, initially scheduled for Tuesday, 21st December 2021. Secretary to Ogun State government, Tokumbo Talabi, in a statement, explains that a new date for the visit and commissioning of some of the landmark projects of Prince Dapo Abiodun administration will be announced in due course. He said government regrets any inconvenience the postponement might cause the invited guests. Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya of Gombe State has signed the 2022 appropriation bill into law. Emmanuel Akila reports that the executive fiscal bill of over 150 billion naira presented to the Gombe State House of Assembly is scrutinized and passed by the legislature within 1 month.
The 2022 appropriation bill tagged Budget of Consolidation, according to Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, is to ensure that all projects initiated by his administration are completed. This is why capital expenditure is allocated 54% of the total budget amount.
The people are really expecting a lot. And our ability to maximize, whatever possible we can get in order to see that we implement projects or programs that will touch the lives of the ordinary people is very key.
Speaker, House of Assembly Abubakar Lugero said the quick response of the legislature in passing the bill is in view of the priority the government accords to capital projects.
The ratio of capital to recurrent is very, very encouraging. We are expecting to have higher recurrent this year than capital because we know the cost of running governance.
Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya directs Ministry of Finance to commence payment of December salaries, while retirees' gratuity arrears is to be reduced by 1.5 billion naira. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
In an effort to restore normalcy and reconcile aggrieved members of the All Progressives Congress in Niger State, an 11-man committee has been inaugurated to this effect. This is in a swift reaction to the suit filed by a group of disgruntled members of the party in court. The state APC chairman, Haliru Jekantoro, therefore appealed for peace and assured that the party will continue to uphold tenets of internal democracy. Mokhtar Abubakar Wowo reports.
Part of the mandates of the reconciliatory team set up by the Niger State APC Working Committee is to go around the 25 local government areas of the state, identify and reconcile disgruntled members of the party.
Whoever is aggrieved in one way or the other, whatever way that person is aggrieved, this committee will reach out to that person or group of persons, interface with them, plead with them to come back to the party.
The state APC chairman reacts to the court case by some party members in the state alleging irregularities in the conduct of the October 16 State Party Congress.
Maybe they felt going to the court may be better for them, but I think it's not good. And very soon with this committee, that case, inshallah al-Karim, shall be withdrawn.
We follow the terms of reference judiciously, and first we identify genuine aggrieved members. So when we're able to do that, then we proceed from there.
The conciliatory committee is expected to report back to the state working committee after 4 weeks from the date of its inauguration. Emina Mokhtar Wowo, NTA News.
Let's talk security now, as the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, has inaugurated regulating office and other projects at the Central Naval Command, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, to enhance the professional efficiency of officers and men. Ebenimi Zetimiola reports.
In line with our mandate to keep the nation's territorial waters safe, the Nigerian Navy from time to time harassed illegal oil bunkers and sea pirates. These suspects are investigated and detained before handing over to the appropriate prosecuting agencies. As a result of lack of standard detention facilities at the Central Naval Command, even high-profile suspects are detained in facilities of sister agencies, a situation that hampers smooth investigation. The inauguration of the befitting regulating office will serve as office for officers and men and detention facility for suspects.
So far so good. Central Naval Command has been doing very well in operations, as visible in the last few weeks. The arrests that have been undertaken have just proved the FOC and the expectations of the naval headquarters and the defense headquarters.
Also inaugurated was the reconstructed mast island, built to protect the command from erosion and add to the aesthetics. The naval chief was conducted round the Central Naval Command by the flag officer commanding, Rear Admiral Obiwani Egbuchulam, and the commander NSRO, Commodore Patrick F.R. The command also performed the ceremonial sunset to mark the end of activities for the year and to reflect the great sacrifices of both the dead and the living in service to fatherland. Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
The fight against insecurity by the Joint Security Task Force in Imo State has resulted in the discovery of another kidnapper's den in Osu local government area of the state. Beatrice Anyan reports that the raid resulted in the recovery of the body of a traditional ruler recently kidnapped from his palace.
The joint operation is the second to be carried out in 1 week by the Security Task Force in Inquiry, Uda, in Osu local government area of Imo State. The Joint Security Task Force, acting on a tip-off, moved in here to foil attempts by the hoodlums to regroup. This exercise led to the recovery of over 10 decomposing bodies of kidnapped victims, including the traditional ruler of Ihiti Hube in Okigwe local government area of Imo State, Eze Paul Obu, and a youth leader who was kidnapped alongside Ezobu, as identified by their family members.
In order to restore the dignity of the human persons that were grossly violated by the hoodlums, the state government, through its health agencies, accompanied the security forces to the camp this morning to excavate and exhume some of the bodies, and that is exactly what they have done, so that they could be given proper burial. All the forces were moved there, and the essence of their going there is to occupy that place.
Although the kidnappers had vacated the area just before the raid, the security forces have pledged commitment to finding them in order to ensure that peace returns to the area. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
Now, after several months of celebrating and telling other people's success stories, it just won't be out of place to pause for a moment and celebrate our own. For the NTA family, it's been celebration galore. From the NUJ NTA 2021 Maiden Press Week and Award Ceremony to the program's Directorate Annual Conference and the Ratau Staff Day celebration, there couldn't have been a better time for stock taking and to dine and wine. Charles Alpha picks up the story from here.
From January to December, staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, no matter the directorate under which they operate, devote themselves completely to duty, whether during weekends or public holidays. But all work and no play, they say, makes Jack a dull boy. That's why this particular period of the year is designated for various celebrations by the NTA directorates. And for this year, the program's directorate set the ball rolling when it gathered heads of programs and departments from the 36 states to update their knowledge of programs and TV production with the mandate of training others.
Our reason for this year's gathering is to assess and ask ourselves questions on what we are doing right or wrong.
The welfare of workers and how to improve on their productivity were topmost priority of management. This was the reassuring message of the Director General, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, to the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, Ratau, at its 2021 Staff Day celebration and awards.
I must say, first I feel surprised, but I feel very appreciated, and I want to thank Ratau for the recognition.
In the same vein, rather than going out for news gathering, it was the 2021 Maiden Press Week and award of the NUJ NTA Headquarters Chapel.
The headquarters is well positioned to play a leading role in the NUJ. Despite zero remittance of our check-up bills since the inception of the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPPIS, NTA management has been supporting our activities.
The DG NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, and the key paper presenter, Kayode Ajulo, wants journalists to be mindful of the credibility of NTA when they tell their stories, bearing in mind that national interest supersedes personal and proprietors' interest.
I urge you to use the press week to evaluate your impact, re-energize yourselves, and rediscover the spirit of comradeship that journalists are known for.
We should ensure as much as possible that negative opinion mothers do not get the attention they so much desire by featuring them as news items.
Awards were presented to the Minister, the DG NTA, the Executive Director News, Accountant General of the Federation, DSS, the Nigerian Army, and Kayode Ajulo and Co. in recognition of their contributions to the sustenance of peace in Nigeria. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described the death of former acting managing director of the News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, and Esa of Omuaran, Chief Jide Adebayo, as a great loss to the journalism profession and his state, Kwara. The minister said this when he paid a condolence visit to the Olomu of Omuaran. Anthony Folsen reports.
The palace of the traditional leader known as Olomu of Omuaran, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulhamid Oladele Adeochi Afolabi, who ascended the throne in 2018, Information and Culture Minister expressed his sympathy and shock of the death of Esa. The Oba, in appreciating the minister's visit, used the opportunity to commend Lai Mohammed, saying he is a water son of the land who has made them proud. He prayed that the Almighty will continue to strengthen him in good health and wisdom to continue to represent his people and his leadership role to the good of the community, the state, and the nation. For Lai Mohammed, the disease is an embodiment of what the people of the area are known for.
Even as Asa, he was never far away from us. And he was like the barometer with which we were able to measure the pulse of the people of Kwara State, and especially the politics of Kwara State. Because the late Asa, Chajiri Adebayo, was a grassroots person.
And in response to the Oba's request, the federal government, Lai Mohammed said, will continue to work in delivering on the dividends of democracy.
I did facilitate some roads, township roads here, but KBC says they will need some upgrading, and I intend really to not just to address that, but also the ecological issues which the KBC explained to me. So we are going to get more details for the KBC, or generally on issues that would attracts federal attention and federal government's intervention.
From the palace of the Oba, the minister proceeded to the home of the deceased, where he condoled with the wife and family members. As a man of the people and groundly rooted at home, his visit attracted members of his community to besiege his Oro country home in a festive manner. Men and women, both old and young, danced to rejoice Lai Mohammed. For him, these were his words.
We are working for the people of Nigeria, and in particular, people of Kwara State. I assure them that they will benefit from the programs and projects of this administration. Unfortunately, they are already seeing some of the things we are doing. And I appeal to them that it might be the turn of one local government today, but it will be the turn of another local government tomorrow. And I assure them that the dividends of democracy, they will all benefit from.
In Oro, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
You're watching Weekend File on the NTA. Time for our first break, but when we return on PTL, do stay. Welcome back to Weekend File. Nigerians have always looked forward to that season after the rains must have come and gone, and that is the Harmattan season. But medical experts have, however, warned on the possible harsh weather condition and some infectious diseases as well as allergies associated with the season. Health correspondent Aisha Ubali in this report examines the peculiarities of the weather and how to cope during this period.
Nigerians refer to this period as Harmattan, but it is commonly known to be dry season, which comes with its uniqueness. Some Nigerians say they like the season despite the challenges associated with the weather condition. Other than that, all they need to do is to wear extra or warm clothing. According to experts, it comes with its challenges. Anne Lucy, a nursing mother, says she's much aware of the do's and don'ts of the season to keep her baby safe.
The weather too is somehow, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. So once their clothes is wet, you change their clothes immediately, because once the weather is cold again, the thing affects them.
And for the adults, the experience this time is still manageable, as flu and cold are common characteristics of the season.
2 hours at home. I suffer from Katana.
Right. As far as the weather change is concerned, I'm okay with that.
When the weather becomes dry and dusty, it causes a lot of challenges, some of which are health related. So it's expected. This is happening already. We are having more respiratory tract infection because we inhale a lot of dust.
With COVID-19 still in the air, he has advised that the public avoid opting for self-medication when they have a flu or cough, pointing out the need to visit health facility for proper diagnosis and doctors' advice to ascertain whether it is mere cough or COVID-19.
Don't just look at somebody and say somebody has COVID. You need to run tests in addition to the cough and catarrh.
He further advised asthmatic patients to avoid triggers this time. On the issue of whether there is a different flu in circulation, Dr. Chris believes it is just a myth, but advised Nigerians to take more fluid this period. It is commonly said that a stitch in time saves 9. And remember, prevention is better than cure. According to the experts, the right attitude this season will help in reducing the number of cases and even hospital visits. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali.
Characterized by harsh, dry, dusty weather, the Harmattan season for residents of Enugu is usually a period of severe health challenges due to the location of the city, which sits on hills. Susan Eze spoke with some health workers in a primary health care facility in Enugu metropolis.
This is New Haven Health Center, one of the primary health care facilities in the heart of Enugu State. We have here with us one of the health officials. So, madam, can you please tell us whether you have had increase in cases of diseases related to the Harmattan season?
Yes, since this month, we have been having people with different types of sickness, cough, catarrh, diarrhea. We are giving them advice to be careful in their environment, how they keep their children, and what they are feeding on, because you know everywhere is full of dust.
For some areas, they will have cases of measles, chickenpox. Like 2 weeks ago, I have a case of measles. Then, before they could come to hospital, the body of the individual was so rough, the eye was so red and other things. When I asked the woman told me that the neighbor said that they should not take the child to the hospital. So I was blaming the woman. Once your child is sick, take your child to the hospital.
Okay, do you know about the Harmattan season?
Yes.
What do you know about the Harmattan season? How does it make you feel?
Cold.
Cold. So when you're feeling cold, what should you do?
I wear a sweater so I will not catch your cold.
It is also interesting to note that those who sell clothing are also testifying that because of the Harmattan season and the need for people to wear warm clothing, more people are visiting their stands to pick up clothes for their families to keep warm. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Our guest tonight joins us live in the studio. He is Dr. Godwin Ntadum, Chief Epidemiologist of the Federation. Good evening. Welcome to Weekend File.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here.
Of course, this is one season everyone looks forward to, not just because it coincides with the Yuletide. It's also one season that comes with a whole lot of health issues. Now, how do you capture the entire scenario?
Well, like you defined earlier, the weather is associated with dusty, dry, cold weather. Breeze. And the usual thing is that when this breeze blows, they blow with a lot of particles. Many of them could be allergens. That is what will cause reaction in some people that are allergic. Some could be bacteria. Several things come with the wind. Several elements. So when they come that way and they come in contact with individual, of course, we expect some reactions. And not only that, during Harmattan, there's very low humidity, dryness. Everything around begins to get dry, leaves and everything. And you begin to see bush burning and other things. And all these flow into the air. Carbon, several issues are released into the air, and when people begin to breathe this in, it could lead to some infections. So these are some of the challenges. So it goes, we consider the environment. It's more important when we begin to look at the relationship between the human living in a particular environment and what the environment is bringing at a particular time. So in this time of Harmattan, which is something we are used to, is an annual thing. So we look at some of these allergens, especially for those who react, like those who are asthmatic and many others, like I said, the content of the air, they are numerous. So it depends on the one that comes to you and the way you react to it.
Dr. Ntadum, of course, it's nothing new to us as a people, but safety remains in paramount here. And we're talking about precautionary measures and treatments. What should the people know at this time?
Yes, I would like to categorize them to biological, physical, and maybe chemical. Like when we begin to look at it from one aspect, like I talked about dryness of the bush and all that, which will lead to fire. And now, if you look at some of the diseases, especially the infectious diseases, and they occur around this period. Even Lassa fever, when we are talking about it, it comes around this period, like we started recording cases. There are bush burning. We are dislocating the animals from their normal habitats. They move into the town where they look for food. Some other animals, or we are also deorganizing or affecting the ecosystem of some of these animals. So they move in. In such cases, you begin to see rats that normally live in the bush. They come into residents, get close contact with individuals, and of course they cause diseases. Then we look at some aspects. When you see, during Harmattan, there's usually poor visibility, you know, because of the dust in the atmosphere.
But will the Harmattan season cause more havoc now that we have COVID-19? Is there any relationship?
There are no relationship. The important thing is the preventive measure may be similar in a way, because using a mask is protective. Like for individuals who normally have who react, because you could have attack as a result of what you inhale. So in such a case, you can use your face mask. So the face mask and other preventive measure, they're actually protecting beyond COVID to other diseases like that may come along with the dust.
Okay, so we'll talk some more on this topic tonight on the Weekend File. Let's go on another. Thank you for staying with us. Harmattan season is here again, with the usual haze and cold weather conditions being experienced in Borno State recently, which has a wide implication on the socio-economic activities and the general well-being of the people. Maimuna Garaba examines the situation for Weekend File.
Present dust and hazy weather situations in Maiduguri and environs, which started last Tuesday, is an indication that Harmattan season has fully set in. The extreme cold and hazy weather situations are expected to continue in the next coming weeks, as well as wind blowing.
These doses you are seeing may last between 2 to 3 days, except if we have another intensification that will raise the dust continuously.
The dusty situation, according to geographical experts, is attributed to the dynamics of the weather and massive cutting down of trees, as well as growing population within the society.
Is compounded by the series of deforestation that our environment is facing now. In those days when we have a lot of trees, usually these things that are coming to our environment as problems were intercepted by the trees and other vegetal covers.
The season usually comes with associated problems with a lot of effect, particularly on human beings, as it is common to see people with respiratory tract diseases, sinus and throat infections, among others.
Today's weather is very hazy. That is why I wear my sweater and face mask to protect myself from the cold.
We are putting on cardigan and face masks too, so that it will not affect us.
Medical experts, however, advised members of the public to adhere to safety measures.
So we should also be careful when we are moving around and do the needful non-medical protective things.
Already, the weather condition is taking its toll on the transportation and aviation sectors, with delayed and sometimes cancellation of flights due to poor visibility, while experts advised motorists to guard against overspeeding.
We keep on monitoring. When there is a window that the visibility improves, then the aircraft will land. If not, the airport will be continuously closed until the visibility improves.
Commencement of socio-economic activities are sometimes being affected due to poor visibility and extreme cold weather conditions in the morning. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garaba, NTA News.
Dr. Godwin Ntadum, Chief Epidemiologist of the Federation, is still with us in the studio. You would agree with us that the season we are talking about has its own peculiar way of settling down. For instance, there are states and regions of the nation where it is being experienced as of now, while it is being awaited in some other regions and states. So, what are those vital precautionary measures that the people should take now?
Yes, one of the associated factors is the dryness, which will lead to dehydration. It is very important, especially for children, to take a lot of liquids, fluids, fruits, oranges, and many other fruits. And for adults, because when you walk under this severe condition, you get dehydrated, and of course there are so many other factors that are associated with it. You get tired, you are weak. So when you rehydrate yourself regularly, drink a lot of water. And for children, one of the challenges with children is the effect on their skin, lips and everything. So you rub cream to ensure that your lips are not cracking, your skin covered adequately. And children are expected to be covered adequately also in dressing, sweaters to protect them from both the cold and the dryness. And also for the people traveling, drivers especially, you see it more in the morning and late in the evening. So it is always good to ensure that you drive slowly, because the visibility is reduced and you cannot, it's not only driving, even flights, most flights are usually cancelled. And again, in our social life, this is the moment we are careful with fire, because all the bushes are dry. If you begin to throw things around, and the fire is almost all the wood now are firewoods. So we have to protect to ensure that we don't go near bush with source of fire. And also for our eyes too. For individuals who are in areas where it is already there, we should use some glasses that will sunglasses to protect our eyes, and most importantly also to use face mask, because when we use this, we protect ourselves from the effect of the dust, which may have some other effects, especially for those that are allergic. And for individuals that normally develop their a kind of reactions during this Harmattan, it is the time you need to take your drug, get in touch with your doctors, and get yourself get some preventive measures so that you don't fall to sickness.
All right. Now, the fear, you've actually calmed down that fear. I'm sure most people will be happy listening to you now or watching you about its relationship with like I said earlier, it's not as if it's a new phenomenon, but coming at a point where we have COVID-19 with its mutations, people are just too worried. Now, I'd like to ask you, in this period of Harmattan, you discover that even to breathe is difficult, but breathing is inevitable. So, what do the people do? What do they need to do in terms of the discomfort in the nose?
Yes, usually there is very low humidity, going very low, and of course at a point like that it's difficult to breathe. In fact, some people begin to bleed through the nose.
Exactly.
During this time. So you have to keep your environment a bit humid. We have to stay in humid environments, in the sense that a place that is not too dry, and you can even wet your handkerchief, to inhale cold instead of just exposing yourself to long hours of dryness.
All right. We appreciate your presence here tonight. Thanks indeed.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be talking with Dr. Godwin Ntadum, Chief Epidemiologist of the Federation, on the health hazards of Harmattan on the people. Let's go on another break, the final one, so to speak. Do stay with us.
And As 2021 ends, we share your gratitude for its blessings. We acknowledge your low moments too and wish you strength to carry through. At Bedmate, we'll keep making your living better because we believe that furniture is not just an item made of wood, glass, marble, or steel, but a symbol of your unity and good times with your loved ones. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year full of all the finest things you desire.
Me and you, let's get to Ghana. Hey! Right, jump. This is Ghana. You've come here to seek for greener pastures. Make it your worthwhile.
Any guinea fowl is a guinea. Guinea fowl has nothing to do with guinea. It's just the name of the fowl.
So Ghana jollof, what is it? Is it Nigerian beans?
What? Have we made before?
No.
Jasper! Help me!
It's time for sports update.
Starting from the grassroots, Nigerians have been reminded again of the importance of living a healthy life by engaging in regular physical exercises. This was at the instance of the second edition of a Alive and Thankful 7 kilometers marathon organized by Onome Obrute. It was indeed a refreshing time to stretch the muscles and engage the bones as participants that cut across different walks of life sweat it out across designated streets in Lekki Phase 1, Lagos.
We're taking the health system to a new level so that people can know what it means to have that free ticket of being healthy rather than going to the hospital every time. With this, your BP reduces, you breathe properly, you think freely, your enzymes, bad enzymes are released.
It is the cheapest way to stay out of the hospital.
Staying healthy also can be done on your behalf, so you have to take responsibility.
In football, the round 1 fixtures of the 2021-2022 Nigeria Professional Football League continue on Sunday with matches slated across various stadia of the Federation. Aqua United will host Kano Pillars, Enyimba will trade tackles with Abia Warriors, Shooting Stars of Ibadan will play away to Gombe United, among other matches. Meanwhile, from Uyo, Susan Azuko reports that the Nigeria Professional Football League defending champion, Aqua United have presented the 2021-2022 league trophy to the state government. Governor Dom Emmanuel, who received the trophy, charged the team to defend the title successfully as the team smiled home with lots of gift items.
Getting to the top is not a problem, but you must stay at the top. You must maintain, you must sustain, you must keep it up.
In another news, Jonathan Naji has been returned unopposed as the president of the Nigerian Modern Pentathlon Federation at the elections which held at the National Stadium, Lagos, Saturday morning.
The personalities I've seen now that have made the Modern Pentathlon Federation, I think we are going to go a long way.
The elections, which took place at the NOC Secretariat, also had Abdulmumini Gambari as first vice president, while Marcos Festa defeated Peter Arikan to emerge as second vice president. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NT News.
Let's now check out weather for Sunday.
Time for the weather forecast. We expect more of cool, dry, northeasterly winds from Europe passing through North Africa, and with continued atmospheric dust in the country. As such, we expect moderate dust haze from northern region down to the inland cities of the south. With horizontal visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers, with localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters throughout the forecast period. Partly cloudy to hazy conditions over the coastal cities of the south throughout the forecast period. And that's our bid for Sunday's weather forecast. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
That concludes Weekend File on the 88 tonight. Thanks indeed for watching, and do keep alive the fight against rape and rapists in our society. I am Kenan Ima Aborike. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.